Alright guys, happy Monday and welcome back again to more Trails Through Daybreak. Hope everyone's having a decent morning today. I know I am. I'm getting ready to play this game again and have a good time while at it. Also, I gotta say, even though I just started their side story, I'm already missing Van and everyone else, but we'll get to them in due time. So, hope y'all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for the love and support. And here we go. Alright everyone, welcome back again. We already took care of one of the previous, what you call, first brigands, known as the monster in the garden, and now we're gonna make our way to Lashkar's path, which is honestly right here. Just so that we can get that out of the way and move on. I remember you're the game designer, unless you're a different character. I can't talk to you, but you look like that game designer dude. Kinda. Oh, thanks for coming, Agnes. I guess Van's still out of town, huh? Unfortunately, yes, but we should be able to handle anything that needs doing while he's away. That said, you had something you wanted to ask regarding Lashkar, right? Yeah, he's been working part-time at the Center Marsh recently. I'm sure you've heard that he's trying to become a bracer again, right? Ever since what happened to Cray Village, I thought he'd cooled off on the idea, but last week he started acting a little different. And today, I just can't figure out where he went. Kaina and Lashkar, they're both from Cray Village, but managed to keep from getting caught up in the disaster. Yeah, trauma doesn't always get better with time. At least, not easily. Kaina, I'm sure you must be terribly worried about him. I'd like to know more about what's been going on with Lashkar lately. Think you can give us some more information? Well, first, you remember how out of control he was last year up until the Revolution Festival, right? Yes, I remember. He had so much pent-up anger that he used to pick fights with the local thugs. Then, at the beginning of the year, he started living with me, and he'd actually started making some friends around the center. I thought he had finally calmed down. But a little more than a week ago, no, maybe a little before that even, he started running off at night. Uh-oh. Up to no good. Sneaking off. It's almost like he's worse now than he was before. He'll even start crying sometimes completely out of nowhere. He sounds pretty unstable. And on top of everything else, he came home injured yesterday. I tried asking him about what was going on, but he refused to talk. He just ran off again. Ever since then, he... I really am bad at this, aren't I? And to think I'm supposed to be the one adult he can rely on. Please, if there's anything you can do to help him. I hope you realize this isn't all on you. We still don't quite have enough info to go on, though, which means it might take some time to investigate. What do you want to do, Aggie? Let me think. Not much to think about. We're gonna accept it. And it's 4,000. Yeah, why not? Yes, we'll take the case. I'm not about to leave Lashkar to suffer through his feelings alone. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I asked you for help. We're still short on info, though. Guess we'll just have to start asking around. Right, let's look for people he has regular contact with and see if they know anything. Maybe someone over at the temple can help. Actually, he's been spending a lot of time talking to Yazan from the center recently. Yazan has ways of getting bits and pieces of news from the underground. Lashkar was talking to him a lot back when he was getting into fights. I see. I guess the only other place worth looking would be the guild. Yeah, he spent a lot of time there last year to help out. I think he was just looking for somebody to talk to. I know there were some bracers there that cheered him up a little, though. It sounds like a bracer guild may have some useful information as well. Yeah, thank you again. I know he's in good hands. Alright, let's get investigating.
For SPG time!
And we got a topic. Okay, okay, we got the Arpeggio books, and is there another area here? Hold on. Yeah, there is. There's there. Let's do this first because we know a majority of where... Wait, there's two places? Hold on. What? Riverside. Okay. Alright, so we'll do Station Street, then we'll do Riverside, then we'll go back to... Or Center Marsh, actually. I'm torn now. I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, where are you hiding, dude? Oh, you're just right there. Cool. You're just around. Yazan. I'm gonna bring up the topic, okay?
Do you have a moment?
Lashkar, huh? Yeah, he's been by my place a few times in the past. I'd like to ask you about stuff going on in the criminal underworld. Can't count how many times I told him not to get involved in all that mess. I see. Sounds like he's been up to a lot lately. Was there anything about him that seemed different? We heard he started acting a little strange about a week ago. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him around in a few days. But you said this started a week ago. That's about all Kaina could tell us, yeah. Do you know if anything happened to him around that time? Well, about 10 days ago, I heard talk that some people from the Central East have been up to something. Got ties to the underworld too. Of course, it's just a rumor, but I figured it's something you might want to be aware of. Interesting. There's no clear connection, but it couldn't hurt to keep it in mind. A mysterious crime ring, huh? Sounds pretty shady. We don't know if they've got anything to do with Lashkar, though. For right now, it's just one more possible lead. That was certainly an interesting conversation, although I can't really say we have more information than what we started with. We should talk to some more people before we rush into a decision. Roger. So I guess, River?
Zoom zoom!
Okay, where are you hiding, dude? Riverside Temple. Okay. Maybe you'll be able to tell us where he is, or at least give us a lead on a better location of his whereabouts. And we go through here. What's your name? Priest Kira.
Do you have a moment?
Just snuck up on her. Oh, this is about Lashkar, isn't it? To be honest, I've been worried about it myself. The boy's been so torn up over his hatred of Almada recently. It's almost like he's gone back to his old self. You really think he's declined that much? I thought he finally started to recover. There must have been something that triggered his change in attitude. Do you have any idea what that could be? Well, I imagine it had something to do with Nero. Nero? Was that a friend of his? No, it was the name of a cat that one of the little girls in Kree was taking care of. I assume he must have been lost in the explosion then. Most likely yes, but regardless, Lashkar has been determined to find him ever since. That's what eventually led to him happening upon another cat that looked just like him. I'll never forget the look on his face when he said maybe Nero made it out alive after all. He couldn't be convinced otherwise. Now that I think about it, I feel like he has mentioned something about a cat before. But I've got a feeling the one he found wasn't actually Nero, huh? Unfortunately not. The pattern on his purr was strikingly similar, but it was completely different. It was a completely different cat. Once Lashkar came to realize that, his temper flared up again, so the reality he was trying to ignore came back to bite him in the end. Honestly, I can't help feeling that we failed the poor thing, failed to save him from his internal torment. If we're to have any hope of helping him this time, we'll need to treat this much more seriously than we did before. It's nice to hear that the temple cares so much for Lashkar. I know he'll be in good hands once we find him. While we're still on the subject though, have you noticed anything else odd going on in relation to Lashkar? Excuse me. Yeah, I get the feeling the whole Nero thing isn't what pushed him over the edge. There's gotta be something else we're missing. Actually, I did hear an interesting tidbit from a few of the parishioners recently. Apparently, Lashkar's been roaming around Riverside at night. From what I understand, he comes here even on days when he doesn't have Sunday school, but he's never seen going into any other businesses. And that he'd come out here just to goof off. The question is, where was he headed? I can't say for certain, but I've heard he's been spending the time under the bridgeways along the river. Some rather unseemly types have been around those areas lately, which makes me all the more worried. Thank you again for all your help, Mother Kira. The details you share should definitely help us track him down. Of course, if it gets Lashkar's home safe, I'm happy to help. Oh, Arusha, may Lashkar be blessed by your grace, and may you grant Agnes and her friends your guidance and protection. That's nice of her. That was certainly an interesting conversation, although I can't really say we have. Yep. She's just repeating the same thing she said before. Okay. It's at the station. Maybe we'll have better luck there.
Here I go!
Alright. Where to? Oh, the Bracer Guild on that side. Okay. Nothing on the bulletin board there? Nope. Okay. Imagine a third side quest? Holy cow. Although, I will say, more money on our end for that.
I'll give it a try.
Ah, hold on. We went the wrong way. Almost went the wrong way. Alright, Hazel. Tell us something about Lashkar.
One sec.
Lashkar, huh? Yeah, I figured you'd be the one case before long. Is this the case I think it is? Oh, Jin. I'm assuming the guild is working on it too? I knew Lashkar had connections with the guild, but this is way more help than I thought he'd get. Oh, sorry to disappoint, but we're actually still waiting to hear back about him ourselves. We have someone hard at work on Lashkar's case right now, so we're leaving it up to him for the moment. Ooh, glad to hear Edith's branch is already on the job. It figures that Elaine's guild could be so on the ball. But who's this person you got working on Lashkar's case? A young bracer named Gray. Lashkar's been talking with him a lot since the beginning of the year. He started noticing some changes in the boy before anyone else, so he went and took the initiative to investigate. Is there any way you could share any of the info he collected with us? I don't see why not. How much you want to bet Gray's the influence in all this? He's the reason why Lashkar's been acting weird. I'm putting that to the test. That's my conjecture. Working together would probably be more efficient anyway. I kinda didn't expect you to agree so quickly. The documentation we got from Van mentioned that we'd be unlikely to get much help from the guild. That kinda ticks me off, to be honest. Well, regardless, you'll find no objections from me. We really appreciate it. So, has Gray had anything to report? Well, as I'm sure you know by now, the boy's reverted to the way he was before, driven by anger and thoughts of vengeance. Of particular concern is a fight he had with a delinquent several years older than him. Beat the man halfway to Sunday. He took on somebody older than him and won? Yep, and apparently the guy even told Gray that he was way stronger than any other kid he'd seen. Seemed like it wasn't just a matter of technique either. We believe he's using something to make him more powerful than normal. Okay, and the alternative would be, what was it? The stupid drugs or pills, from the cult? The DG cult? Given that short time frame, I find it hard to believe that he'd received any form of training either. I think the most likely cause is, yep, he's using some sort of drug. Yes, we came to the same conclusion. However, we still don't have any information on how he obtained these drugs, or who he received them from. So technically, my theory on the fact that it could still be Gray is still on the table. Naturally, the guild cannot afford to let this continue. We told Gray to put everything he has into this case. Wow, it's turned out to be a bigger issue than I thought it'd be. Yeah, we need to find Lashkar as soon as possible. By the way, Gray also mentioned the possibility that Lashkar has been having meetings with an unknown third party. Once we can identify the individual and their whereabouts, we'll head back out in another attempt to locate Lashkar. I actually have to deal with another job at the moment, but I plan to help with the search when I get some free time. Anyway, don't push yourselves too hard out there, okay? Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing what you could with us. We really appreciate it. Well, I believe we've spoken to everyone familiar with Lashkar. I think we have a pretty good handle on what's going on now. Me and S had a few ideas already, but you really helped us narrow them down, Aggie. You're just as quick in the uptake as Vance said you were. You really think so? Anyway, let's go back over everything one more time so we can figure out our next steps. Well, I think we have enough info to piece together what Lashkar's been up to. Yes, however, we still don't fully understand what brought about the change in his mental state, or why someone's attempting to take advantage of him. Well, at the very least, we know that he's been meeting up with an individual under the bridges. That's our best lead right now. The lady at the temple said he'd been wandering around Riverside, right? And hasn't there been a lot of dangerous activity lately by the underground maintenance tunnel? That's right. I have a feeling that's where Lashkar's been heading off to. I find it awfully... not odd, but I guess silly, just because of the fact that every so often we encounter these types of missions where there's some shady activities going on. It's always in the freaking underground subway station. Almost always. Especially considering what the Bracer Guild told us about the possibility of drugs being involved. However, while we know Lashkar's been spotted in the area, nobody actually seen him entering the underground maintenance tunnel. The area is incredibly inconspicuous though. I have a feeling we have the right place. Yeah, Riverside as a whole seems like a pretty convenient location for whoever Lashkar's dealer is, too. Don't you think so, Aggie? It sounds like you're already one step ahead of me, Nadia. But you're right. Yasa mentioned there were people from the Central East with ties to the criminal underground after all. If that's to push Lashkar into this, it would explain the meeting place. The temple he goes to is here in Riverside, and there are more Central Easterners here than in other districts, which means it'd be easier for them to blend in. That explains why they're so willing to do this stuff in public. At any rate, we should check out the underground maintenance tunnel and see if we can find any more leads. I'm with you all the way, Aggie. And if somebody's down there, I should be able to sense them, no problem. Yeah, can't hurt to do a little reconnaissance. Let's go take a look. Alright, underground maintenance tunnel. Oh, we go. Good thing it's right here, too. Save us a lot. I mean, it wouldn't matter. We got fast travel on our side, but still. That's why I wonder about, what was that one? Trails in the Sky remake. I hope they gave us fast travel, because I remember in the original, man, there was a lot of backtracking, and you had to do it the long way, do walking. Eventually, you get like I think the bus, but even then, it's like it's not the same. There's a child's footprints here. They look fresh. Anything on your end, Nadia? I'm not really picking up anything. But looking at the map, this tunnel's pretty long, isn't it? It's hard to get a clear reading on the inside when we're all the way out here. Huh? Aren't you guys? Gray? What are you doing here? So it is you, Agnes. And this must be the two substitute Spriggans filling in for Van. Hazel told me you guys would be helping out with Lashkar's case. I'm surprised that you already managed to sniff this place out. Seems Van trained you guys well. Actually, I think we got lucky, because the information everyone gave us was so helpful. All we had to do was narrow down his location. I was hoping we might be able to track down the person Lashkar was meeting with as well. Huh? Wait a second. I thought you guys knew he was inside already. What? Did you follow them here? Yeah, I managed to puzzle out when they'd be meeting so that I could tail one of them. It's been about 30 minutes since Lashkar's first entered. I bet anything he's meeting with whoever his dealer is right now. My hope was to secure their meeting place, expose whoever's behind this, and get Lashkar back home. So you were using Lashkar as bait to pin down the ringleader? That's a little surprising, considering the kid's so fond of you, I mean. From a risk management perspective, I made the best decision I could. If all I did was push out the Lashkar meeting with the dealer, the larger issue wouldn't just disappear. Well, I guess that seems reasonable enough. Not the kind of thing I'd expect from a bracer, though. I understand where you're coming from, but for right now, are you willing to give us a hand? Of course. I don't have any problem working with you guys. I plan to make my move soon, though. Once you're ready, let's start making our way in. Me and S are ready when you are, Aggie. This might take a while. I doubt we'll be able to come back out of supplies either. Just something you might want to take into account. Right, let me think here. Yeah, we're good. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's get going. This might be the only chance we get to save Lashkar. Alright, let's head in. Alright, so he's helping us, so I mean, I guess that might put a damper on my theory, but again, we'll see how this all plays out. I had a feeling we wouldn't find anyone. Actually, I'm sensing someone further in. This tunnel has a pretty complicated layout, though. I can't make out very much. And my Zypha is not detecting anything other than monsters in the vicinity. If we stop to look around right now, it'll just eat up time. Let's wait until we're further in. Yeah, there's no time to waste. What do you say we take the shortest route we can to the far end? I'm sure we can handle anything that comes up along the way. Good idea. Let's hurry. What are they planning to do by bringing him in here anyway? Just what are they after? And why Lashkar? He just doesn't... Is something wrong? Nope. I was just thinking about how you seem a little unusual for a bracer. You felt for Lashkar to listen to his troubles, and even now, your main focus is on saving him. Kinda feels like you can really relate to the little guy, which would mean you've been through a lot yourself. I'm just trying to do what I can to help. I mean, he's counting on me, so I have to keep him from making the same mistakes I did. Nadia, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. Just having a little chit-chat is all. We're coming. Nice work out there, kid. How you feeling? Your body getting used to it yet? Yeah, it feels good. I can get as angry as I want. I can hate as much as I want. And it fills me with power. Well, okay. Looks like Gray's in the clear. Shucks, I was kind of hoping he was a double crosser, but whatever. Okay, this works out too. I get stronger the more I think about them, the ones who murdered everyone in my village. Looks like he's taking to it even better than we expected. In that case, we should be able to up his dosage. You bums, you drugged up a kid, man. You know, I wasn't expecting much from the rumors at first, but this kid's got some pretty serious rage built up inside. You got a real nose for talent, Commander Havid. Especially to find a kid like this among a bunch of peace-loving rubes like the ones here in Calvard. What makes you say that? It's pretty easy to spot talent in the Blacklight District, don't you think? At least easier than spotting in the battlefield. Letting this kid fade into oblivion would have been the real tragedy if you ask me. If we raise him right, he'll make for a hell of a warrior. If I get stronger, I can do anything. Otherwise, I can't. I couldn't protect. Yes, think of that hatred as your fuel. Seems I was right to have my high hopes for you. And it looks like our visitors have finally arrived. Or did you think we wouldn't notice? These guys must be part of that one Jaeger group from the Central East, the Scorpions of Zahat, I think it was. I'm surprised they noticed us. Guess the rank of captain still means something even in C-tier Jaeger groups. True, even if they did get knocked out last year's death game in the first round. The group dispatched to Horacium was one of our least skilled units. You'd be wise not to conflate them with the best we have to offer. But that little mishap did force us to reflect on increasing the strength of our military prowess. Huh? What are you doing here? This is none of your concern. Ashkar, what have you done to him? They really have been giving him enhancement drugs. They seem different from the ones Almada were using though. Don't get the wrong idea. He came to us with nowhere to go, seeking power and tormented by loneliness. All we did was give him the means to convert those feelings into power he so desperately wanted. Enough. You really think you can get away with manipulating a child into taking narcotics? I'm offended. You'd put our herb on the same level as a poison Almada like to dole out? See, in our homeland, there aren't any laws that prohibit its use, so it hardly seems fit to judge by your standards, don't you think? And you want to know something funny? It's not illegal in Calvert either. Is this really what you want, Lashkar? I thought you wanted a bracer so that you could protect Annie. Whatever happened to that little boy? Is this what his idea of strength is? But back then, I couldn't protect anyone. I understand why you'd want to drown in your hatred. Maybe I understand better than anyone else. But even if you were to accomplish what you hoped to with it, would you be able to take pride in your actions? He's right, you know. Getting that kind of power as a child has a way of haunting people for the rest of their life. I've seen a lot of kids broken because of it. I can't say it's something I'd recommend. Right. This isn't the type of power you want. It'll end up swallowing you whole. This is strength beyond all the suffering you're feeling, but it's one you'll have to find for yourself. If that's all it took to throw him off, then maybe the kid really was a waste of time. It's not that simple. He's just feeling conflicted. If we can show him that the path we've laid out for him is one of true power, then he'll find his resolve. I guess that means we gotta prove her right then. And yes, I'll look for an opening and try to pull Ashkar out there. Can you three dole out their fire until I get to him? Understood. We'll do our best. Just be careful, okay? We were given a job and we're not leaving here until we finish it. Ashkar's coming with us.
Destroy them.
Okay, now what we're gonna do first is your Brill Guard.
Shield! Protect everyone!
Ha! My turn.
Okay, and as for you, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna mark all of you.
I'll finish you. Activating skill.
There. Take this.
Yay.
Our time to shine!
Okay, they're not weak to anything here, so let's do slow.
Nadia! These are for you! Hitches and stitches!
Get him.
What's to do? Right up. Get those boots on the ground, service bears. Sucks to be them. And finish! What the? Let's get to camp.
We can win.
Okay, well, I don't know why I did that, but that's perfectly fine.
Activating skill.
There we go.
It's up to you, Agnes. Activating skill. Wide open.
Ow.
Our time to shine.
That hurt.
Now.
Heal. Alright, waste your turn.
We can win.
Activating skill.
Now.
Keep it up, Nadia.
Coming right up.
Really? Oh, good job.
A chance.
Wide open.
You're all stronger than I thought. I suppose I underestimated you. You're right, we are strong. Even without Van, we're fully capable of putting a stop to your schemes. Captain, the kid's gone! What? Don't try to call foul now. Feigning is a valid strategy in warfare. As Jaegers, I'm sure you know that all too well. Damn it, we failed. After all the times I told you to keep an eye on our sixes. Nice job, Gray. No, you're not half bad. Ever consider becoming an assassin? Now that Lashkar is safe, there's no need to stay here any longer. You think you can run away from us? Pinch at them on both flanks. Tamam! Oh, how considerate. You must be a real hit with the ladies. Not that I have eyes for anybody but S, of course. Come on, let's get going. Oh. Trap him. Lashkar, are you awake? Is the drug wearing off? No. I can't, damn it. I don't think the drugs are affecting him anymore, but he still seems pretty unstable. That's why he wanted an easy solution, a way to run away from it all. That's how they were able to reel him in. He just has to keep moving forward. He needs to face what's going on inside him, no matter how difficult that may be. I know he can do it. Even if he did hit a bit of a snag, he's still... Look out! An ambush. I'll never be able to hold off this many of them. I'm guessing Jin is going to show up here. It'll take an act of a goss to turn this tide in your favor this time. So what's it going to be? Fight and risk death? Or hand the boy over and leave with your head still attached? I don't think so. You messed with the wrong kid, Scorpions. You did a bang-up job on your own, Gray. Now let us handle the rest. Oh, okay. You guys. Sorry we're late. Took us a little to put together what was going on. Jin and Elaine had other business, but I figured we could spare the rest of the crew. Close enough. Okay. I can't believe the Scorpions of Zahat were behind all this. I'm sure you filled his head with all kinds of crap trying to turn him into one of your child soldiers. I didn't think the guild would come out in full force. What do we do, Captain? We withdraw. It's too bad about the boy, but we have little choice. Really? Did you hear me? I said withdraw. It's time to cut our losses. We can't afford to waste resources right now. Tamam! Damn, would have preferred to capture them, but they're fast little suckers. Oh, Lashkar, I'm so sorry I didn't realize what was happening. Kinda. Damn it. Damn it all. Lashkar, do you think you managed to calm down a little? Calm down? What do you mean calm down? Me pretending to be calm was what led to all this. None of the adults understand. They all just think I'm sad or holding a grudge. But while I was sitting around, all those Hamada bastards were killed off. So why do I still feel so empty inside? Please, somebody, tell me why. I get it now. You weren't after revenge. You had all these feelings of anger and sorrow, and once it was over, everyone wanted to go right back to normal. Once I found out Nero was gone too, I just couldn't take it anymore. I thought, if I could just run away from it all. So, when these guys from Zahat started telling me their drugs could help me escape what I was feeling, that I'd never lose anything ever again, if I just got stronger, Lashkar, I know exactly what you're feeling. Being powerless, it's... No, you don't! Grown-ups don't understand anything. Hey, we understand a lot better than you think. I told you before, didn't I? We're the same. I lost my family to Armada too. all I could think about was revenge. But I found my way back. That's why I'm here now. You've lost your family? I kind of figured it was something like that. So he's finally come to terms with it. Well, good for you, but that's why I have to. Do you really think those people were your best chance? You want to be strong, right? But if it's true, strength you're after, there's a better path for that. A path where no matter what style you choose, it'll be a strength you've earned. A strength that's yours and yours alone. That's why that shortcut they promise can't hold a candle to what you can do on your own. Even if it'll struggle to get there, you'll have plenty of time to find your way. You just have to be a bit patient while you look for it. That's how it was for me in S2. Right, I'm sure you'll find something that'll guide you in the right direction. And once you do, you'll make everyone in Cray Village proud, Annie included. Alright, I almost forgot. Gray handed Lashkar a handmade charm with the Bracer Guild's emblem on it. This is the charm that Annie made for me. At first, I thought maybe you'd just forgotten about it, but now I realize this is what you were running from all along. Because if you didn't, you might remember the person you were, the real you. If your heart still aches at the sight of it, that's a sign that you haven't given up yet. It's not too late, Lashkar. We can move forward, together. Why? I mean, it's a little sad, but mission accomplished. He's safe back in Sa, but he's gonna need time. Once Lashkar settled down, the group decided that bringing him back to the guild would be the best option. Due to Lahad's familiarity with the drug that was used, he was able to treat Lashkar's symptoms quickly and efficiently. Thankfully, the substance had only been administered a handful of times. Lashkar was expected to make a full recovery. Both Jin and Elaine were concerned for the boy and rushed back to the guild upon hearing the news of his situation. So, that's what happened, huh? Well, looks like Gray ended up being the right man for the job after all. Glad you were able to rescue the kid before it was too late. I must commend the rest of you for coming to his aid as well. Your arrival seems to have played a pivotal role. And of course, Anya, Swin, Nadia, thank you again for all your support. Of course, we never turn a blind eye to Lashkar or any resident of Cray Village for that matter. Furthermore, it's our duty to help others in Van's stead. Honestly though, we wouldn't have made it very far without a certain bracer in training laying the groundwork for us. I just did what anyone else would do. Besides, I'm the one that. Personally, Lahad was the one who impressed me the most. How'd you learn to detox someone like that? Never really thought of you as the brainy type. What, you thought I was just a meathead? See, in Central East, it's not uncommon to run into people using drugs and herbs like that. When I was stationed at the guild there, they did a pretty good job drilling us in with the basic treatment methods. That being said, we've only treated his symptoms. He'll need to be examined later by an actual doctor. I'm going to a doctor to give him a record for doing drugs though. Yeah, I could see that being an issue for any background checks in the future. For most people, it's a good opportunity for rehabilitation, but for Lashkar, it'll just make it harder for him to get back on the straight and narrow. That's true. We need to remember to keep his future in mind when making any future decisions. Now, you're gonna give me this choice? Nah, I'm giving it to Isabel. Do you think we should let Isabel treat him in secret? That way his record will be kept clear? The doctor from the Black Light District? I've heard she does good work, but... What? You must be joking. How could we trust him to some back alley doctor? Take it easy, Alvis. In spite of where she's from, I can at least vouch that she's a fairly competent doctor. Still, you must have a pretty good reason if you're willing to suggest something like that to us. Did they not just admit what their reason was? I do. I want Lashkar to face up to his mistakes. As we mentioned, taking him to a normal hospital will result in him having a permanent mark on his record. But it won't actually affect him until he gets older. I worry that he won't learn his lesson. Now I get it. You think having him treated in the Black Light District will act as a kind of wake-up call. A trial by fire, huh? That's surprising coming from you, Anyez. You might be right though. Could be exactly what he needs at the moment. Not you too, Lahad. Elaine, say something to them. Surely you don't think this is a good idea. Well, it's certainly not ideal, but she makes a good point. And as long as we have some safeguards in place, yes, it might be worth looking into. The guild will handle any negotiations with Isabel. We'll raise the money for treatment too. However, that does mean we'll be the ones setting all the terms as well. We'll move forward with it as long as nobody has any objections. What do you say, little lady? Yes, that sounds fine to me. I just want to help Lashkar get back to living a normal life again. Understood. Holy crap, that's really nice of them. They're gonna pay for the treatments? Whew! Let's go ahead and talk this over with Hazel. We'll get the ball rolling on everything. Well, alright. I guess I'm going to compromise. Thank you all for being so understanding. I suppose now the only thing left is to deal with Lashkar's emotional state. He's been drowning in his pain for so long. I think getting him to work through it all is going to be pretty difficult. Still, I have a feeling he'll be alright in the end. Yeah, me too. He'll be fine as long as he got people like Gray to sympathize with him. I think he might be overestimating what I'm capable of. I mean, it's not like I'm a therapist. Levy Arnold, a B-rank bracer stationed at the head branch in Le Mans. She was tasked with working undercover to gather intel. A lot of her information was obtained by spying on Almada. Unfortunately, she was killed in the line of duty. She was your older sister, wasn't she, Gray? So that's what he meant. We know you lied about your nationality and work history to get into the guild. And we know the reason why you were trying desperately to enter the Republic. In fact, we've known for a while now, you wanted revenge. That's what all that training was for, and all that digging through confidential info. So that's why he understands how Lashkar feels. You knew the whole time? Then why would you let me stay? I took advantage of my position to do so many horrible things. So why? Well, let's just say we spent a lot of time observing your behavior. I'm sure you realized it for yourself by now, but that grudge isn't the only thing that's been motivating you. That's right. You continue to display a strong sense of both conscience and duty. Your actions don't lie. Kinda. Are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what Lashkar's been going through. I just want to thank you all for giving us another chance. Of course, this is something you should have to shoulder on your own. It takes a village, right? I've heard you've been keeping an eye on Lashkar for a while now. They told me you kept into action as soon as you found them. Words can't express how grateful I am. Hear that, Gray? You've done a lot for the people of Edith. So let me ask you this. Where do you want to go from here? You even need to ask? I want to keep moving forward, and I want to keep protecting the city. Well, if that's what you really want, then you better be prepared to work your ass off. I feel like maybe I said something I shouldn't have. Everything's alright, yeah? You're fine, Kaina. Actually, you just did Gray here a pretty big favor. I'm glad we were here to help. Those two are going to be just fine. Yeah, they'll get back on their feet in no time. But it probably wouldn't hurt to check in on them every now and then. Yeah, I want to make sure their prom ends with us. Solving problems isn't exactly what I'm known for, but it feels pretty good knowing we helped save a kid's future.
All in a day's work. Reward deposited.
Hell yeah. 4. Damn, not yet? Alright, well, on that note, guys, I'll be ending it here for today. I want to thank you all for watching. When we return, I believe we'll finally make our way back into the story again and see what's what from there. So thank you again, and I'll catch you all next time.